Welcome to another edition of Mzanzi Fundiz. It's gonna be a busy show. Today, Lufuno looks at Cape Town people arriving in helicopters. Hashim Temingo. Skatlaka di kolite tawa di bereki mo banyaka di helicopter. We then take a look at what has happened in the national playoffs. So today, Netonze Romele Lufuno ko Richards Bay. Happy birthday Lufuno.
Thank you, Mama. Thank you, gents.
Happy birthday Lasile. Leona. But we get into this thing. The gossip season again.
Yeah.
Le gossip ale rena le coach.
Ote.
Kima.
Napim twin.
Oh. Lufuno Urbana le coach, the one that bottled there in Morocco, could not win the league after leading it for 13 plus weeks. Mara Haremo. National playoffs.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Richards Bay.
The Natal Rich Boys.
Vusumuzi was a Richards Bay.
Absolutely.
The prophecy came true.
Absolutely. We were here last week. We said it, all of us, that Richards Bay is coming back, and it happened.
See, Mr. Barnes says, let me leave you guys with the goal and go back and go to Stellenbosch.
Yeah, 100%. He's already fermented grapes. And Nzundana had an amazing time.
Look, Richards Bay, we look at their journey. They did what anybody says. Sort out your home games.
Absolutely.
Because when University of Pretoria went to KZN, they beat them. Yesterday, Baroka went, they beat them. And you can always walk away with a draw, and it was 2 draws. What does that say about this gap between NFD and the PSL, Lufun?
Well, if you look at the Motsepe Foundation teams and you also look at the DSTV Premiership teams, the gap is not that much. You can see that...
The gap is not that much. 4-0 Chief, the gap is not that much.
Let him continue.
It's a 4-0 game, yes, but it's only one game. On the balance of play, these playoffs are very tight. You can see at the games, yes, what Richards Bay did, they actually utilized their home ground. They won all their games at home. If you look at how they played away, they struggled really to beat these teams. But at the end of the day, as I said, the gap is not that much, to be honest. It's very close. Even if you had to go to the Nedbank Cup, you will see the gap is not much. Of course, the teams that are in the DSTV Premiership, they've got the money, they've got the players. They're playing at the bigger stage. They are more professional than the teams in the Motsepe Foundation. And just because of that, they got an edge normally. Even if you look at the playoffs holistically, you will see the teams that always come from the DSTV Premiership always goes back.
Okay, SC, you look at the way Richards Bay handled it. Now looking back, do you say they brought in Vusumuzi a bit too late? That's why they were there? Or because if you look at what he's done for them, in the second half, ever since he arrived, he was not doing that bad. It was just the damage that was done in the first half was too great. Yeah. Right man for the job?
100%. Right man for the job, I would say as well. But in terms of him coming late into a Richards Bay team, I wouldn't necessarily say that. Management have their way of doing things. At times they delay a certain thing.
School fees.
Yeah, I guess you have to pay your school fees. And for them, I think this is a lesson that they need not be playing in that space, We were speaking about bans earlier on. They have an effect on teams, such things. So we need to also look at those things and be very careful in terms of playing in that space. But for me, Vusi is a proper coach. He's paid his school fees at Golden Arrows. You even look at what he did at Golden Arrows. You could tell the guy knows what he's doing.
But coming to that, now his season is over.
Yeah.
Lufuno's already in training, Chief. Or he needs more weeks than anybody else, Coach Chiefs. But teams are coming back. Jokes aside, teams are starting to come back. How will that affect them in the new coming season?
Yeah, of course. Preseason is something that needs proper planning. It doesn't...
But they must rest. These players must rest. How much rest do you give them?
Yeah, look, I'll use the word that you don't like, which is unfortunate. They had to go through playoffs, and they had to grind. And now, Vusi said it yesterday, like, guys, let's come back, go refresh and then come back and settle with this thing. And again, they still also need to sit down on a negotiating table with him as well. The technical director needs to say, okay, what are you doing? this coming season.
Chairman Chief, this is Mzanzi.
No,
Technical
chairman.
Director, Chairman. Chairman.
Sundowns will challenge you for that.
No, Sundowns can, and Lufuno can challenge us. Yeah. But Lufuno, looking at that, how much rest, how is this going to affect Richards Bay?
It does affect Richards Bay, you know, if in a scheme of things, because now you have your Sanele Bands that are leaving. Now you need to start saying, who do we replace him with? Because now you have retained the status of the DSTV Premiership, so you need to start planning. Do you really have much time to plan? Because most of the players that maybe you would have looked at as the first choice players would have actually already been courted with other teams or moved to other teams. 100%. So it just put you really in a very bad space to say, you know, your planning really has...
You are like 2 steps behind everybody.
Yeah, you're 2 steps behind everybody. Now, when the other team's players are coming back for preparation, your players are going to rest. So meaning that you also have a shorter space of time to do pre-season.
But does that now then say, but we know the PSL is not going to relook at that model.
Yeah.
So let's not even beat the drum.
No.
But looking at it now, players that Richards Bay needs to sign that you think, how do you rebuff that squad? Because now that you know you are there.
Before I even answer that, you need to school us when you reference that the PSL will not go into that space, so that people know that what are you thinking of.
Okay, so when you look at it, it needs an AGM of the PSL to sit and rechange the whole playoff model. There's been enough people who have spoken about changing that model. It's not happening.
Yeah.
So we're going to carry on with this model. This is what we are. This is how we are. We are comfortable with that.
Yeah. No, I think Batubako Haeba Tabi. Continue because
this one is this one is. But looking at it, players coming in, going, Richards Bay, what's your thinking? Because you can't leave a space left by Bands.
No, I don't think they're going to leave a space left by Bands. You know, look at the players that came in yesterday's game, and we were watching the game, and you saw some of the players that came in that they could probably fill that gap up. We don't know if these guys are going to be given probably a run of 15 games. What are they going to give a Richards Bay? But at the same time, it's a question of who are they promoting from their TDC team, you know? And let's see what happens with that space. You know, Bands is only one player; he's not the whole team. So I think they have it wrapped it up.
Lufuno, Bobo, we must have honest conversation. I will say, Chairman made a blunder by getting rid of Den, looking at how it played out.
Yeah, look, Den has been with the team for the longest time. When he arrived there, they were not in good space. You know, he did a lot of work to get that team to the playoff position. Obviously, when you were to get rid of a coach during the playoff, and then you come and replace him with a coach that was not there, you know, it will be even better to say an assistant coach is taking over because he understands the space and the thinking,
the environment
and all that. But you are getting somebody that was with another team coming in, has to now pick up the pieces and really said, we must go. And it's a true reflection of that because they're the only team that never won a match. And that shows that it was a mistake that they did. You know, sometimes, you know, you have to swallow the pride and say, let him finish. And then we'll talk after that. I mean,
so we will say school fees has been paid.
Yeah, school fees has been paid. and funny enough, you know, the coach that won this playoff had coached almost 3 teams. At one stage, he was with this coach of Baroka.
So yeah, cheaper and then
settling some scores.
So the scores were settled. The Vusi said, "Let me show you."
In cheaper.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
No. We hear you. Lufuno, prepare yourself.
Yeah.
Buckle up.
Yeah.
There's helicopters coming. Chief.
Yeah.
In Cape Town, they don't unveil players with the 10-1 cars. Mr. Domingo is about to arrive. In the next segment, we see what's happening in the transfer market. Players, where are they going? And we see how teams are unveiling them. Except for my beloved Sundowns. Players unveil and leave themselves. We'll see you after the break.